I have your attention, please? The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Everybody, and welcome back to the Kryptonite Show. Your host Superman in the house, and this keeps getting better and better day after day. It's just amazing. Now we know we're going to have rallies and little pullbacks, rallies and pullbacks. We know that works, and then of course we're going to have a significant pullback, and we're going to have a big pump back up to the upside, and a big pullback, and all those sort of things are definitely in the bull run ahead. But man, it has been absolutely epic the last couple of days. I think we can all agree. PulseChain is just starting to show that little teaser of moving up as well. And so fun times, guys, fun times indeed. It's going to be pretty awesome. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Now, we've got Wookie in the house there. Good to see Wookie. Big shout out. We got Derek in the house as well. Big shout out there as well from RhinoFi. And we got Wookie in the house. We got Sean as well. $4,600 ETH. Here we go. Did I put the right value in the title? Hope so. And amazing, right? Amazing. And of course, we all know the previous local high was 4,100. And the all-time high from last bull market was 49. So we're only a couple $100. What's that? $300 away or so from the all-time high of ETH. It's fantastic, guys. Get excited. It is pretty awesome. LFG says, Derek, LFG indeed. Big shout out to the RhinoFi team. Absolutely crushing out there with their charging. Their charging plan for the 28 days is going very well indeed. And on an up market, Derek, I don't know. It's going to do some special things, I'm sure. Looking very good out there is the old RhinoFi. And I love, of course, the branding is fantastic. Looking really good there. We got PulseX in the house there, all-time high ETH this week. Hey, look, very plausible. But maybe by the weekend, if we get more ETH acquisitions, we will check that out. But we know that we saw some more pictures last night. I posted it on X about the ETH strategic reserves, more accumulation there. We saw ETHzilla, which we're going to talk about, accumulate some more ETH, and of course, actually that's first ETH really, and I had 7,000 ETH, I think. But really just jumped to the top. And so we're going to look at that. Number 10, jumped straight from the bottom. Remember, we had those three pending ETH acquisition vehicles. And then, of course, it pumped with its first purchase up to the top, which is fantastic, right? Absolutely fantastic on that. So we've got all these new ETH acquisition vehicles coming in, pumping up the market. And, of course, they're going to pump PulseChain too, right? And all the layer 2 chains and altcoins and all that good stuff. It is going to be absolutely epic, and it's going to be historic. It's going to be a super cycle. It is absolutely crazy, guys. So, very plausible. Definitely possible there, PulseX, on that one. We got Christine in the house there. Good to see Christine as always. Hello with the purple heart, loving it. And always great to have Christine in the house. We got Sean O'Malley also. Pulse dragging the chain. It certainly is. But we all know we're going to have ebbs and flows. And, of course, we might have some leadership positions with Richard. He's coming up. And I guess marketing's only maybe about a week or so away, something like that. I don't know. It's getting closer and closer. And of course, 200,000 units going to be dropping in the United States and distributed by some of the cool teams. And we saw that in the monster thread. It's very, very exciting, guys. Very exciting indeed. Now, if you guys haven't shared the show out on X, definitely smash the show out. Hit the repost button on YouTube. Of course, you can hit the share button. But get out there, folks. And if you're new to the channel, smash the follow button. And, of course, we're going to talk about the channel today because we hit a very important milestone, and so we're going to check that out on the live stream as we're building back for the bull market. We got Blair in the house. Hi all, good to see you, Blair. Big shout out to you as well. Hope you're enjoying the green candles. We deserve it, and of course, PulseChain just starting to teaser that it's on the move as well. We got Brendan in the house there. Next minute, ETH all-time high. That's true, and I think that's well worth of a clap. So pretty exciting, guys. Pretty exciting. We got Q-Baller in the house there. Morning all. Good to see Q-Baller. Big shout out. And welcome also. We've got so many cool people in the house. So let's get into it. Let's get into the show. Go through all the markets and look at all the bullishness. And maybe you missed a few things and we'll cover it on the show. I guess that's the way it goes. All right. So let me just set up a few things up here. And let's go bam. And let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of that. Bam. Let's get rid of that. And get rid of that. Bam. And, of course, there we go. We got a little side profile shot. Getting like Somi. Getting on a Somi shot. Getting a Somi shot there. The old side profile. I'm sure he'll appreciate appreciate the imitation is what do you call it? Imitation is something. I can't remember the phrase now. Damn it. We had such a late night last night, guys. It was late. I mean, silly late. My mind was fried. I hopped into an X space yesterday with Unity and cryptographics, and I could ask a question, but my mind just wasn't processing. It was like about 3:30 in the morning. Insane. I haven't done that for a long time. So I'm still recovering from that. But that was fun. That was funny. Remind me a bit back being like, when you're like 18, you go out and you're like, what the hell am I doing up at this time in the morning? That's a bit like that, Big shout out. We got Hartwood Dog in the house. We got Morning Superman and family. Big shout out to Hartwood Dog. A big shout out to your team as well. We got a couple of founders in the chat today, haven't we? We got Derek, of course, and the Rhino Fine. And of course, we've got also Hartwood Dog. We've got Hartwood the Hog and the Dog. And big shout out there as well in the chat there. Absolutely crushing it out over on social media. And of course, it is really the Pulse of the Fallen's anime series really is synonymous with PulseChain now, I think. And I think we're going to see that build over the bull market. It's very exciting. Chapter 11 came out. Apparently, Chapter 12 is coming out next week, guys. So you don't want to fade that. That's looking big. And is it going to be the following chapter where Hog? So Chapter 11, Hog was training, and of course he did a year's training in a day. And of course, Chapter 12, is it going to be the fight against Colin McGregor? Is he going to have the revenge fight there and get his kudos back? We shall see. We shall see. There are always twists and turns in the Pulse of the Fallen anime series. It's going to be fun times. We got Wookie in the house there. Sleep will buy us a luxury soon. Yeah, it would have been pretty good. Would have been good, Wookie. But Wookie was up with me. Wookie was one of my members in crime in the Discord. And it was fun times, but it was pretty. It was punishing there at about 3:30. We got Heart with Doc says imitation is the greatest form of flattery. That's the one. Thank you very much. You saved me there. My mind is, it's not completely fried at the moment, but certainly recovering from the all nighter there. We got Brendan in the house there. You guys are yapping for ages in the Discord. Lol. I know, it was crazy. If you guys haven't joined our Discord, links in the video description. Join up today. We have pretty much, I think, the best community out there. Everyone says that, of course, but I believe it. And get into our Discord. Links in the video description there. And we've got quite a few members in the chat here that are in the Discord. So big shout out to people there. Sean's in the house there. Love your work, Hog. Yeah, Hog, big shout out there. Keep up the good work, man. The story is great. The twists and turns, the animation, the sound effects, everything it's just really going really well. And of course, covering not only PulseChain influencers, but community members, project team people, characters, celebrities. It's got a bit of everything in it, and that's what makes it really magical, I think, for the Pulse of the Fallen anime series. Cheers, Sean, mate, says Hog. Chapter 12, he has one last task before the rematch in Chapter 13. All right, we just got some extra alpha there. That is pretty huge. So 12 is one more task for rematch in Chapter 13. And as you guys know, it's going to be well over 100 chapters by the end of the bull market. I don't know. The bull market's going to be long, I think. We're going to have ups and downs, though, and that's the way markets work, but very, very exciting there. All right, so let me just set up here before we get into it. What an introduction today. 8 minutes and 45 seconds. I haven't done a long one like that for some time. All right, get in the chat there. If you're watching, don't forget to share out on X as well. Let's get into the news today, and we're going to start off with the Kryptonite Show, funnily enough, there. So let's get into that. We have hit the milestone of 1,000 followers. Isn't that cool? 1,000 followers, guys. Look at that. Can you see that? That is beautiful. So a very big thank you to everybody that smashes the follow button on the X. As you guys know, I've had to rebuild the channel because my other channel, which was fairly large, probably be somewhere like probably maybe 12,000 followers by now. It got pulled down for no good reason. That is social media. It's a tough place out there, and but restarted here, and we're back to 1,000. So a big thanks for all the support, and we're entering the bull market, right? So it's going to be pretty fun there. All right, so kind of cool. Let's jump into the stock market, shall we? And get into the details. So obviously the stock market there, we've got a bullish move, and we saw this last night, right? We saw the inflation came through. It was lower than expectations, and therefore interest rate to cut probability went up. All right, so that's pretty much it. A lower than expectations inflation, and we're not seeing the the big impact of tariffs that Jerome Powell, the chairman of the Fed, thought he would get. Obviously, we think he's a bit of a Democrat stooge that really doesn't know what he's talking about, and he's been a pretty bad Federal Reserve president. Chairman, I should say. So let's see what happens here. S&P 500 in record close as Fed cuts bets on inflation data. Now we've got the Dow Jones. Remember, that's the top 30 industrials. That is up 1.1%. Big move on that. 483 points. We got the at 44,458. So that is the Dow Jones looking really good. If we go to the max chart, we can see that we're up near the all-time high levels right now on the Dow Jones. Now moving to the S&P 500, we are in record territory again, at 1.14%, 72 points, and we're up here at 6,445. So S&P looking really good, and of course the Nasdaq there up 1.4%, up almost 300 points at 21,681, and we can see that's in record territory as well. We are witnessing absolutely glorious moves here. And look, during the Trump golden age, I think we're going to blow through some rounding numbers here. So we're at 21,000 on Nasdaq. I wouldn't be surprised by the time we get to the top of the golden age of America that Nasdaq may be up at 40,000 or something like that, 50,000 even. I think it's going to do some insane things, guys, in the super cycle. As long as we don't have any major geopolitical risk, real major black swan event. And of course, Trump is, ending a lot of wars all over the place, and of course, making pragmatic decisions about that. Then that's laying the foundation. And you've got to have that world security, and then you can do the investment. And of course, he's raised well in excess of $15-16 trillion, and that keeps going up. That number we're talking about possibly moving from about 2.7% economic growth to 4, 5, even 6% economic growth at the top of his presidency, and that's probably maybe 2 years away from here. Obviously, it takes about 9 months to a year to get things built and start earning that sweet income, and let that go up and to the right. And we've got all this convergence of all these technologies at the moment. We are kind of in the fourth industrial age. Some people have fifth industrial age of the basically intelligence age is what we call the intelligence age, and we've got the convergence of all these technologies coming together, which is pretty exciting. So that is kind of the play at the moment. Nasdaq there looking very, very sweet. The US dollar just under 98. As we know, Trump came in at 108 in the 20th of January earlier this year. That is where we are. Let's have a good look at the commodities. We've got West Texas and Brent oil pretty similar, $63.66. So not too much change there. And of course, that's down quite a bit, probably $8-10 since Trump came in as well. The gold there is at $3,400, and silver is just below $38. And they've both been on a move, and we're expecting those to rally as we get this economy really booming in the United States. It's going to be really, really awesome. We're expecting that to pick up Q3, Q4, Q1 next year, and just go on and on into the golden age of America. And that's going to really be a huge blessing to the rest of the world. So we're going to have a safer world, a more prosperous world, and we're getting rid of all these Marxist globalist ideologies, at least dampening them down. And that is all the progressive nonsense that we've had to put up with. And so we are looking forward to freedom. We see that back in the US colleges. We see all this dancing going on. It reminds me back of the freedom we had in the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. We are seeing that back in the universities, and it's very exciting to see that freedom is coming back in many areas. Not all everywhere, of course, but freedom is coming. So safety, prosperity, and freedom, particularly in the United States, it is a true blessing. And it's exciting times ahead, folks. It's going to be really great. All right, so that's kind of cool. Now, what do we ask? We've got the actual CPI. So CPI, Consumer Price Index, is one of the two main retail inflation measures. And, of course, it came in at 2.7%. So the expectation was 2.8%. So we came in under that, right? So that's fantastic. On a month-to-month basis, the CPI edged up by 0.2%, and that was cooler than 0.3% in June. So, the Trump's been right about the tariffs, and people mocked him, and so Jerome Powell and all this sort of stuff carry on. But no, he was right on that. So kind of cool. Core CPI, which strips out volatile food and fuel, did rise by 3.1% year over year, above the 3% expected, and 0.3% on a monthly basis. And of course, that followed a weak July jobs report. So we got this lower inflation, and we had that weaker job data. Now, it is questionable, that data. The data was really bizarre. If anyone's familiar with data, that was kind of weird. And so we'll see what happens. They, fired the person doing it, at least heading the department, who was a Democrat. So we'll see how we get on there. Now, the CPI more than reinforces a 25 basis point cut for the FOMC in September. And if the August job report looks anything like the July one, a 50 basis point reduction can't be ruled out. And we would expect to see a 50 basis point. Really, it should be 50 basis points. We should more have a closer to 1-to-1 ratio. So if the federal funds rate is 4.5%, inflation's running at about 2.7, we should really see it come down to that 1-to-1 ratio. So we'll see how we go. 50 basis points will get us down to 4%. We're still well above 2.7. So let's see how it goes. And we know the Fed's not very good at their timing as well, and they do political moves for sure that we saw last year for the election. So that's kind of where we are right now. That's kind of the highlights. Let's have a look at the expectations from the market, and we're going to go to the Fed rate monitor and let's see what the market consensus is here. And of course, we've got 5 weeks to go, folks. And of course, it is going to be absolutely the final sign sealed, seal there on the altcoin season. But of course, altcoin season is already starting because we've got all these big strategic ETH acquisition firms out there just flooding into the market, and it is a bonanza. It's really like I guess the prairies, the Wild West and the prairies or something. The gold rush is on. And we've got now at the moment 93.6% of the market expecting a 25 basis point cut. But I think we're probably very much likely get closer to 50 basis points by the time we get there. And our pressure is on Jerome Powell to do something there. So we shall see. October, of course, we've got another expectation at the moment of 25 basis point cut there as well. 62% of the market expecting another 25 basis points. So if we don't get it at 50 basis points in September, we're looking at another 25 in October. So that would get us to half a percentage point or 50 basis points, same thing. So that's kind of the play there. December, end of the year there, we've got another 25 basis point cut as the majority view. 48.4% expecting another 25 basis points. That would get us down to 3.5%. But I suggest to you that it should actually be faster than that. And so we shall see where that all lands. And at the very minimum, we should probably be at least down to 3% on the federal funds rate, which would be 1.5 percentage points or 150 basis points. So we'll see how that gets on in the future. Now, Morgan Stanley has been talking about 4 rate cuts by the end of the year. They're as aggressive as I am on this. And so yeah, send me my pay packet. I'm just kidding, but that'd be kind of cool. That's where we are right now. All right, so let's go. Let's move on into crypto. Before we do that, let's see who else is in the chat here. Wookie says, sounds like Super's brain is functioning like Wookie's today. You mean that supercharged genius level, Wookie? Is that what you mean? Is that what you mean? Because I think you do. Is like and share. Smash out the channel out there as well. Very important to do that. And pump your own bags, as it were. Pump your own bags. Let's move on, and we're going to get into the crypto market and check that out. So what do we got? The summary of the stock market. The wealth effect is happening. Why do we cover it? Because the wealth effect is happening, and of course the stock market's coming into crypto to invest. So we know that if they've got that wealth effect, they're wealthier. They can then spend more money into crypto. Bullish. We've got inflation relatively low. Interest rates expected to come down. Hyper bullish. That means risk on, right? Risk on. And that means coming into crypto even more. So very, very excited about where that's all heading. Let's jump into the crypto markets then. We're at 4.14 trillion. Woohoo! Yeah, boy. Up 3.1%. That's pretty cool because that's weighted against 18,082 coins. That is exciting, guys. That is super exciting. We're at Bitcoin right now is sitting at 120K. Let's actually make this a little bit bigger. I think we can do that. Yeah, $120,000 up 1% today. And that's a really nice, strong move. As you guys know, we talked about this heading up to that next, consolidating for that next move to 130 plus. So it's kind of cool. Now, in some ways, we want it to pace itself a little bit because obviously we want PulseChain to catch up, right? We want PulseChain to catch up there for those that are in PulseChain. We got Ethereum there at the moment up 8.5%. Woohoo! That is fantastic, man. That is awesome. Pretty awesome, that's for sure. So yeah, we got XRP at the moment up 3.7% at $3.28. We got BNB at number 5 up 3.4% at $835, and then we got Solana there up 9.4% $192, and then number 9 is Doge up 5.5% at 23.7 cents. Finally, to wrap off the top 10 is Tron, and that is up 2.1% at 35.3 cents at the moment. Looking pretty good. Now, to get in the top 10, your market cap would have to be $33.5 billion. $33.5 billion to get in the top 10 right now. Now, let's have a look at the best performer over the last 24 hours has been, I guess, Solana. It is up a 9.5% there. So that's the best performer over the last 24 hours. But Ethereum not too far behind, right? 8.5% there, and that's pretty spectacular. Now let's have a look at the best performer over the last week. Well, it's looking pretty much like Ethereum has the day. It is up 28.7%. So we're starting to, really get cool moves. Obviously, we're looking to have these sort of gains every day, right? Not just every week. But that is a good positive sign where we're starting to get momentum towards altcoin season. We've got the big ETH acquisition vehicles buying up Ethereum. So pretty cool. So that is kind of cool. Let's have a look at the bigger performer in the top 100. Now we're moving out of the top 10 to the top 100. And we can see that we got Lido there at number 1 now. That's pretty cool. Up 72% for the week at $1.55. Isn't that crazy? We got Chainlink as well, up 44%. We got Ethena there as well, up 40%. And, Chainlink's at $23. Athena's at 81 cents. So they're all in the move there. We got obviously wrapped ETH and liquid staked ETH there as well, following in behind on the ETH move there. And we've got lots of the Ethereum ones sitting behind. Look at that Rocket Pool there as well, up 28%. Binance pegged wrapped ETH, Ethereum, ETH, etc. So ETH is really dominating. Look at all that, all the way down. These are the top performers all week, all because of Ethereum. Look at that. It's RS ETH, staked ETH. They're all dominating with the big moves. Look at that, dominating all that far out. ETH is making a move there. That's pretty interesting. Now, moving from the top 100 to the top 1,000, we're going to do that too. But before we do that, let's do something we haven't done for a little bit, and to have a look at what will we take to get into the top 100. Well, you need a market cap now of $1,359,000,000 to get on CoinGecko's list at least, right? It's their list, $1,359,000,000. So that is where the mark needs to be done. And of course, you could effectively say, depending on the PulseChain project, how many projects we can get into this list as well, in terms of, essentially get there. So we'll keep a lookout for that. Obviously, we've got some candidates for sure. All right, so let's get into the top 1,000. We've got Cyber at the moment up 56%, AG Alpha agent up 29%, and OpenServe. Now, we did look at AGI Alpha, I think yesterday or the day before. So we'll have a look at Cyber, and that is on the move now. It's currently ranked number 432 at $2.93. It is, obviously a down chart, so it hasn't been that cool. $4.67 it started off with on August the 16th, 2023. So over that time, which is about 2 years or so, is it? And of course, we've just come off a local bottom there, July the 9th of $1.23, and we've just had a tear in the last day from $1.85 to $2.93. So that's on the move right now. That's on the ETH chain. And let's have a look at cyber.co. Let me know in the chat there if you guys know this one. Smarter crypto powered by AI and social data. And so it looks like it's having its time in the sun now, probably a bit early, 2 years ago. So that is on the move there right now, Cyber Network. So kind of cool. That is it right now. Let's jump back out of there and have a quick look at the next one, which is also on the list. And that is, we're going to, the other one's fallen off, actually funny. We've now got Pirate Chain and Vertical AI. So we'll have a look at Pirate Chain. That has taken the second place there. We had those two others get bumped. This one's at number 895, 24 cents, and it's been around since February 10, 2019. So a long-term one, or way back with Electronium and Pi Network and all that sort of stuff. And of course, it is just bouncing a little bit off the bottom there. Not too much to look at here from the looks of it. And it's its own chain, right? Pirate Chain. And of course, I guess RG3 would love this one, right? Pirate Chain, wearing his one eye patch, something like that. So it's got wallets and mining exchanges, etc. That is Pirate Chain, and of course, been around for a long time. All right, let's have a look, see what else we've got on the list there. So we've looked at Cyber and Pirate Chain. We've got Vertical AI, of course, AI being a bit of a mega theme. Currently ranked number 961. And just coming off the bottom there from the looks of it, currently at 39 cents. And it is currently at 2.4 cents it was on the 13th of November last year. It is kind of coming off the bottom of about 10 cents and really popping the last day from 29 cents to 39 cents. A nice little move there. It's on the Ethereum chain. And let's have a look at the website, Vertical Studio. Imagine it, build it, and prompt it. There we go. So we've got a nice AI platform there. Put in your prompt below and get results in seconds. So that'd be something that people want to look at. Vertical Stream, Studio, and Cloud. So you can check all that out there too. Not too bad. Probably worth playing around some of these things. So if that's something that's interesting you, give it a check out. So those are the three that seem to be top gainers in the top 1,000. Trending right now, we've got Ergo, Ethereum, and Dogs at the moment are trending. And who let the dogs out? Well, you can decide. But we got total market cap 4.13 trillion, up 2.5%. Bitcoin holdings pretty cool, just below 120K, and Ethereum there just at 4,600 right now. And that is the story of the time, right? Is this Ethereum move? Fantastic, fantastic. We got Sean says, ETH move deserves fireworks, Superman. It does indeed. In fact, have I got the fireworks here? That's the question. Have I got the fireworks here? Not on this particular one, but I think we can bring it. I think we can bring it on. So let's see. Where is it? Where is it? I guess it's over here. Let's see if we've got fireworks for this one. Let's see here. I've got some of that. I don't know. Is that the right one? Let's have a look. Let's see if we can bring the fireworks to town. All right, let's try this one. Let's add that and see if that works. Let's see. Let's see what happens here. A drum roll, please. Do we have a drum roll? This is a mad show. All right, so that's looking very good. What the heck is going on here? What the heck is going on? All right, so let's have a look here. We're going to be playing a few things. Fireworks. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1. Let's see. We got fireworks. Do we get them? Yes, we got fireworks. It didn't show up on my studio, but I see it on the screen. That is hilarious. Oh, there we go. It's delayed on my screen. That's hilarious. So there we go, folks. That is pretty cool. All right, we might have a second go. What about that? Second go. Okay. All right, very cool. All right, so that's probably delayed. So there we go. That's for you there, Sean. We aim to deliver on the Kryptonite show. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. All right, so looking pretty good. Let's go over to the big chart, and this is the Bitcoin chart right now. And we can see that we're just sitting above. We bounced off that 50-day moving average. 50-day moving average now is at $114,444. Isn't that amazing? 50-day moving average. The 200-day is even more amazing in some ways. It's 102,200. So we're well over 100,000 on the 200-day moving average. And of course, we're riding this golden cross there, up and away. And it looks like we're about to, try to move up here as well. I don't have the RSI on here, but definitely we bounced off the 50 and we're now testing that 120K zone right now, which is pretty cool. I'm sure we got some pictures. We've got some pictures here. So let's see what else. We got some pictures here. So I guess we're testing this area here, right? So that is pretty cool. Testing that indeed. So not bad. Now, this is exciting times. As you guys know, moving forward, we're going to have, more stuff around the interest rates. It's coming up as well, 5 weeks away. And then, of course, we've got the extension on the Chinese tariffs has been extended 90 days. And then we've got the crypto regulations expected August, September, October. And that's going to be, are we going to find out what the government's going to be doing in terms of buying more things? And, of course, around deregulation and leverage. So everything is going pretty well. Trade deals progressing, well. I mean, there's still a few big countries, obviously, to really get over the line. But we've had a lot, probably 7 out of the top 10, maybe something like that. So it's just progressing well. Big tax bill went very well, got in there just at the end. But everything in Trump's strategy, the triple-legged strat stool is going there. So that is pretty cool. Let's have a go look at ETH and have a quickly check that out as well. ETH on Coinbase. And, of course, look at that. Beautiful, right? Beautiful. So looking really good there. I'm going to take this green overlay off now. We don't need that anymore. And we consolidated. We got a golden cross back on the 9th of July. And we absolutely went on a tear. We tested the old PulseChain sacrifice reserve break-even price at 3,773. Came back a little bit to 3,350. And then we just really mooned from there. And we're now at 4,600. That is fantastic. Let's go to the monthly, shall we? Or let's go to, no, we'll keep on the daily. Let's go hunt the old all-time high on this chart. It's going to be pretty glorious. And we're expecting some big things, right? So let's go back into the old bull market. And we can see back here in November 2021, we are looking at the previous all-time high. And that was 4,867 back here on November the 10th, Wednesday. So there we go. November the 10th. I'm pretty sure I got the right one there. Yeah. 4,867 is the mark. So, we've still got a little bit of room to go from there, but looking pretty good. So what's that? $267? Not even that. $250, something like that to go to get to the all-time high. So this week definitely in the zone, right? Definitely in the zone for hitting that all-time high this week. Isn't that fantastic? So brilliant stuff there. And we got this beautiful golden cross here. Look at that pattern over there. Isn't it beautiful? One up and down. This looks like the country there. But that is pretty awesome. And we're about to go moon time. What are we expecting, right? At end of the year, we got Tom Lee's target. And I think that's pretty pretty reasonable. He knows because he's buying all the Ethereum up, right? So that's a good expectation. So we're going to go with that, right? They've done the numbers, they're analysts, and we're looking at the Ethereum price up here at least. He's talked about 16,000 recently, so we might stay with the 16,000 mark, and that's where we are talking about right now. So what is the percentage gain on there? Well, it's pretty huge, right? So we're looking at about let's say about 250%. Let's say that's a ballpark. So 250% is kind of what we're looking forward to by the end of the year in Ethereum, which would be fantastic, right? So 250% is the 3.5x on Ethereum, and of course that's not the top of the cycle for him. Obviously, we're going to have pullbacks on the way, but we're talking 40 and beyond, 40k. Is the mark. So maybe somewhere between 30 and 60k is the mark. So 60k is the replacement value that's been estimated for the Ethereum that Fundstrat did, and of course people are talking about 30k at least. And then, of course, Tom Lee's talking about a 10-year. The best major play in the world of markets is pretty much the Ethereum play over the next 10 years. We're expecting about $4 trillion at least in expected US dollars to be built out on Ethereum through Circle and Tether. And so this is kind of where we're heading here by 2030. So that's kind of the play there. So exciting times. I mean, that's all you can say. And we've got all these big organizations coming in. Like I said, we might get 50 to 100 probably by the end of next year that are flooding into Ethereum to buy it up. And of course, the people that move first are buying up tons of it and becoming sovereign puts, as Tom Lee would put it. So that is the mark right now. Brennan says RH likes PWBDC right now. Yeah, well, I actually saw a comment by Crypto Paradise on that, and he was just basically the main point being Richard Hart was saying, get your exchanges to give you your coins because they're holding all these tokens right now. So I think it was the main point. And I think Nick Hellman pointed out quite nicely. But yes, also it has, I guess, the shine on the Pulse Wrap Bitcoin. So I'm sure that's on the move. All right, so kind of cool. Wookie says this show has gone to the Ewoks. I like that. I like what you did there. Wookie's from a galaxy far, far away, so we expect this craziness. All right, so that is the mark on Ethereum. Let's go see what's driving this Ethereum price. You guys know it, the strategic ETH reserve, and boy, is it awesome, right? Boy, is it awesome. Look at that, guys. Woohoo! 3.57 million ETH now in the strategic reserve. 16.47 billion is its worth. It's fantastic, right? It is fantastic. Looking really good there. There are now 71 participants, and it is now 2.95% of the total supply. Total supply is about 120.7 million ETH, and you guys know we're currently under EIP 1559, and so is PulseChain, right? Because the full system stake fork, where we have the block rewards and less the fees, right, for the burning. So it's got pretty modest inflation. Sometimes it's deflationary as well. And so this is a perfect environment for big institutions to come in. And remember that this is going to test out the 4-year cycle because institutions are long-term players. They buy the stuff up, they lock it in, they stake, they support the network, both from technological and a economic point of view. And so, yeah, it is a game changer, and it could very well break the 4-year cycle, which I suspect it will do. Right, we'll have less of the retail book driving things, and the quasi crypto institutions as well. So yeah, it's really things are changing in this cycle, and of course that's going to be over the next few years in particular. But it's going to happen very fast, as we're seeing. It's happening very fast indeed. Like within months, we're getting a big change in the structure of ownership in Ethereum. So pretty huge there. Whether you saw the big buy, what was it that came in? ETHZilla Corporation, 82,200 ETH there. Isn't that fantastic? 82,200 ETH from ETHZilla. And as you guys remember, ETHZilla was all the way down here at the bottom. It was one of these. We had 3 pending. Do you remember that? We had 3 pending corporations in here. Remember that? 3 pending corporations. And we've still got Cosmo Health. They're still down there pending with the amount of ETH that they've got. But we also had 2 others, right? And one of them was the one that's just jumped all the way from the bottom where we didn't know what they had. And they've now jumped all the way up to number 10. Yes. And this is exactly what I said would happen, right? Number 10. And they're sitting there with 82,200 ETH, which is valued at 378,700. And so their ticker is ATNF there. That is the mark right now. So pretty huge. They have an MNAV of 5.89 at the moment, which is insanely high. This is kind of the top of the range we expect on the MNAV. Remember that these, when they're trading on the stock market, they basically get their net asset value times the MNAV, which is kind of a premium part of the formula. So the net asset value times the MNAV. And the MNAV is really because in Ethereum you can stake Ethereum, right, and you earn an income. So it's not just like holding Bitcoin, like we see with some of these strategic holders like Strategy and things like that. But actually, you can actually stake it, and then of course you add that premium, right? Because what you do is you forward calculate the future years of income, just like you do a stock market. They always have a multiplier times the revenue earning, and they say, oh, we'll have a 25 multiplier or 20 multiplier. It's kind of like that, and so that's part of the MNAV, and normally maybe about 0.6 or something like that is the MNAV there. And of course, on top of that, they also have the premium for the amount of volume that they're trading in the market. We saw that FundStrat's one of the top 20 or something, top 15 biggest liquidity movers in the world compared to stocks like Nvidia and the Magnificent Seven. And of course, they also have the turnover as well. So it's made up of three main components, and this is what we're getting here. It's pretty high, 5.89. That's going to move it around a lot, but that's pretty exciting in the market. So the market price should match pretty much that theoretical MNAV and be a premium discount to it. So it's pretty cool. So net assets, of course, are basically how much ETH they've got, if they've got any assets like Bitcoin or cash, etc. And then, of course, less any liabilities, and then you're divided by the shares, right, that they have on issue. And of course, then they have the premium, which is a similar calculations I said earlier about income and what's your income flow. So we've got an asset and an income component there with the NAV, and of course the MNAV there. So just remember that that's a kind of an asset income combination there, and that of course gets prices up the market. And so you're actually beating out the move on ETH, right? Because you're getting that MNAV premium. That's kind of the basic idea there. So hopefully I've explained that pretty well. Who else has jumped in here? We got Kryptonite. PLS Weekly is green on the super trend at the moment. LFG. Yeah, we're going to be getting to that soon. Kryptonite's, I said it's starting to show a little bit of green candles. So we're excited about that too. All right, so that's kind of where we are. So ETHZilla just come in the top 10 from nowhere. Exciting times. And in the list there, we've got Bitmine Emission sitting at 1.2 million. We know that he's going for 6 million coins as Tom Lee, and that's currently worth 5.3 billion. So he's winning big time. The MNAV has gone back up. Remember, we were down about 1.42. It's now at 1.87 right now. This is obviously not the latest update. Sometimes it's going to be updated there, as you can see with the little warning signs. But pretty awesome. He's almost at 1% of the supply as well, 0.95% of the supply, so almost 1%, and pretty exciting. So, yeah, the market cap at the moment is 7 billion on their market cap, and, of course, the ETH holding is at 5.3 billion, so you can sort of see that gap there. But SharpLink as well is also going to be on the move, at least 1 million thereafter, as far as I remember. So they're currently at 600,000 on that. But you guys know, once they get to 1 million, they want to get more. They want to get more, right? That's pretty much it. So, but how much more can they get? Because everyone wants to get Ethereum, and they just bid up the price, right? So there's a limit to what they can do, both OTC and on market, right? So there we go. Then we got Ether Machine there at the moment, 345,000 ETH, sitting at 1.6 billion. ETH Foundation is slowly selling down, right? We see the ETH Foundation normally selling down like a thousand ETH or a couple hundred ETH, and we can see that happening on the updates often. So that is the play right now, and so they're going to slowly fall down over time, I suggest to you. It'll be a kind of a slow bleed. They've still got a healthy bag there, 232, but slowly and surely they'll get down. And then we got number 5, of course, our favorite one here, the star of the show, the PulseChain SAC, or as I like to call it, the strategic ETH, PulseChain Strategic Reserve. That's what I like to call it. And that is currently at 166,000 ETH, sitting pretty nicely there at number 5. Remember when this started, we were up at number 2 when we got added, and that was by Richard Hart's instigation. And so we were sitting at number 2, if you remember, behind the Ethereum Foundation. And so Ethereum Foundation and PulseChain SAC have all been pushed down to number 4 and 5 because of these big ETH acquisition vehicles. Bitmine, SharpLink, and ETH Machine have all moved into 1 to 3. Now, I suggest to you that we'll probably end up getting pushed down towards the bottom of the top 10 over time if we see all these aggressive Ethereum acquisitions come out. And of course, we've talked about that. We've got more organizations coming in with billions and billions and billions of dollars. They're already raising the capital. It's already in process. It's not a matter of if, it is when, and it's going to be very soon. So that's pretty much it. So kind of cool there. We also got others in the mix, Coinbase, of course, Bit Digital and Mantle. So we're going to see a lot of the traditional players get pushed down as all these new big stock market money starts coming in and taking up all these anchor positions, these sovereign positions, and it's going to be pretty awesome to see that. But PulseChain is going to stay right up there for some time to come. So very excited about that. Then we've got all these other ETH acquisition vehicles, BTS, FG Nexus. They're all going to be accumulating more. We saw FT Nexus there has bought, they had 7,000 ETH. They bought another 40,000, and they've just raised another, I think it was $5 billion, because they're going to come in. And so keep a lookout for Nexus. It's probably going to end up jumping right up here, maybe behind Bitmine. So keep a lookout for that. Maybe Sharplink somewhere in that ballpark. It's going to be huge. So we've got more big players coming in. And you guys know once they get to a certain target, they can't help themselves. They got to issue more shares and pick up more ETH. So the game's going to get pretty fierce. So that's all going to play well for everybody here. Now, so it's looking pretty good. We've got so many other ones. Obviously, Game Square down here. All these other ones, ETH strategy, etc. So this billboard is going to get really, really important over time. As you guys know, we're talking about all these new entrants coming. We're going to have a lot more. So we've got 72 right now. Let's go to the this is the all page, right? So all SERs. But let's go to the SER treasuries, and we can see we've currently got how many? 14 on the list right now. So that's 14 right now on the list. So we're going to have a look out for this growth. This is going to continue to grow. So you can always come back to this video and check out how many do we have back here, because this is what we've got right now. We've had new entrants come in, right? So ETHZilla is notable. Of course, Cosmos Health coming in as well. So it's going to be game on here. And, of course, Centurious there also. So it's going to be really, really exciting to see where all this heads. Very cool to see that. And, of course, that's going to lead us into, of course, PulseChain. So let's have a quick look at the PulseChain ticker. Bam. And there we go right now. So actually, this is not the best view on this, but we're gonna jump into 0.14% of the supply is currently sitting in that. But let's go look into RH, because there's a better site in some ways. 768K, 768 million, I should say. Okay, we just lost a lot of money. 768 million, and we've got a up 22%, 140 million right now on this. So we're gonna keep this up, because we're gonna have a look at the Pulse later on. But we're up 140.5 million dollars on the PulseChain stack. It's fantastic, 468 million, and of course the entry value was 628 million. So we're up 140 million. Isn't that awesome? It's just getting warmed up, guys, because if we hit that 15K Ethereum target by the end of the year, this will be 2.5 billion. So we're happy about being up 140 million. Are you going to be happy about being up basically $1.9 billion by the end of the year? Because that's what we're expecting. We're very confident we're going to hit that because they are buying millions and millions of Ethereum, and it's going to just keep pushing that price up. It's just as close to a certain bet as you can get. So very, very excited there. We got a few people in the house there with Cryptographics, another founder in the house there, and of course influencer in his own right. Cryptographics there, go PulseChain, absolutely. Yeah, I was just telling them a story at the beginning of Cryptographics about me jumping into X-Space at about 3:30 in the morning last night, and I was completely fried. My mind was fried, and I think my questions were okay, but I was completely ablaze there. It was hilarious, and I quickly got off after my second question, but you answered them very, very well. So kind of cool. We got Wookie in the house there, and we're looking forward to Unity launching, right? 18th to the 20th, guys. Unity is coming to PulseChain, and we're going to be covering Taurus later on in the live stream. We're currently 43 minutes on the hour, so we've got plenty of time for that. We got Wookie on the spot. Wookie was talking in Discord yesterday, Cryptographics, about Taurus, and he said, what? We're already just done day 33? We're this far through already? And it's like, yeah, it's just racing through, isn't it? Racing through. So that's crazy. Wrap Bitcoin is up 22% from last night. We're going to check that out on the old PulseChain there. Very, very cool. So that is some of the exciting stuff, guys. We're looking really, really good. And you've got to be excited about where we're heading here. Keep a lookout for this dash. We're going to keep looking at this time and time again because we've got so much cool stuff happening at the moment. So looking very, very good. So don't forget to get in the chat there as well. If you are not sharing the channel out on X, please do so. Not just for me, but for all the people you go and watch, all the influencers. It really does help. And the bull market is on upon us. The more eyes that get to hear the good info, the better, right? The better there. I know. I think we've got the the PulseChain conference coming up with Maddie Allen. I think he's running that. I think it's going to be a lot of influencers on that, so that's going to be pretty cool. So yeah, check that out. That's coming up as well. So very, very cool there. Let's jump back down to the bottom here. Let's go Taurus, says Wookie, and he's got the Taurus Slayer on his name. How about that? That's pretty much he's a maxi. He's a maxi. Cryptographics might put you into the the special private club there, Wookie. You never know. You never know. I don't know if there's one, but if there was one, you'd get in there, Wookie. You'd get in there. All right, so kind of cool. We're having fun. We're having fun today. All right, so let's see where else we can go here. Oh my God, I don't know what I'm doing, playing around with some of these buttons and stuff. But let's go into PulseChain. You guys ready? You guys ready for PulseChain? Day 824. I think we're going to go have a check out the stats. So let's go do that now. And bam. All right. So PulseChain day 824. Obviously PulseChain is a full system state copy of Ethereum. That was done on the 10th of May 2023. We launched the chain on the 13th of May 2023. Now, I often repeat this every day just for new people that come, so they're familiar with what happens. So full system state copy means that all the tokens that were on Ethereum get copied over to PulseChain. All the smart contracts get copied over to PulseChain. And of course, then they basically have their own life. They go off in their own direction. And so that's where we are today. Now, if you had assets on Ethereum back on the 10th of May, you'd have them copied over to PulseChain. So you might have a pretty wealthy little bag of tokens over here because price discovery comes into play and your assets get bid up, right? So that's kind of the play there right now. Now, as Richard was talking about on the X post today, that a lot of tokens, are on exchanges. So you need to talk to your exchanges and get them to give you your tokens because, they'll just sit on them and sometimes they might even dump them. You just never know for some of them. So that is kind of the play there. So at the moment, we've got Pulse at the moment, quadruple 0519, up 2.13%. So PulseChain not really moving too much at the stage, but certainly is showing a few little green little green shoots and then back to break even, little green shoots over the last sort of 2-3 days been pulling back just after we hit those golden crosses too, which is kind of hilarious. We got PulseX at the moment, quadruple 0398, and that is the buy and burn is that's basically up 0.5%, and we got the buy and burn at 7.58% of all PulseX is now bought up and burned, and 7 token $2.07 down 1.2%, and we got Hex at the moment at 1.25 penny. It is up 0.4%, with eHex at 0.21 of a penny, and that is looking pretty good. Combined price of Hex on PulseChain plus Hex on Ethereum is 1.46 cents, so just under 1.5 penny combined at the moment. Now, as you guys know, if you're not familiar, Hex was one of the top 4 coins really of the last bull market, right? So it did a 10,000x approximately, and so it was the talk of the town. So Hex there, I'm sure is going to have another cool time in this next cycle. We got gas prices right now. We got 1.6 million beats, so we're on the higher side of what we've seen recently. 3 cents for a PulseX swap right now, so about 1 cent more expensive than yesterday. Velos, we got 52,580. It looks like it's up about 25 Velos from yesterday. And the bridge, which is what we really check, is kind of the health and the heartbeat, is over 110 million. Is that cool? That is pretty cool, guys. And of course, on the back of ETH moving and Bitcoin going up as well, right? So pretty cool. The ETH has not yet recovered fully. Want to get back over 7,000 on ETH. And of course, the wrap Bitcoin there going up in value as well. So nice big movements there. As you know, eHex is up just slightly as well. So that's certainly helped lifting as well towards the 110 million mark. And look, we're going to, we get eHex going 4x, then this is going to start hitting to 200 million very, very quickly. So keep a lookout for that. And if that is happening, then likely there's a lot more ETH and stable coins coming over as well. We know that Liberty Swap is now accessing up to 40 chains. That's what they're ramping up to. And that could bring over millions and millions. We saw in the monster thread, the Pulse, which just came out 2 days ago, that the Liberty Swap had already bought in a large number of dollars. I think I'm just trying to remember the number. I think it was 4-6 million, something like that, within a 9 days period. So I think they did, was it 6 million? Maybe 6 million. But they did 8.5 million in July, and they already almost had reached that number in 9 days. So, probably looking at a pretty good run rate for August, and that we're expecting that just to step up. And of course, what they say, 3 ways in, is it? 40 ways in and 3 ways out or something. That's the stable coins. Pretty cool. All right, so that is where we are right now. And I think they're looking at DAI now too, right? They got USDC and USD Tether, so we may have DAI in the mix as well, which I think would be pretty popular. They put a poll out earlier today, I saw, so not too bad. Now, the other big thing, of course, is not only all the stablecoins that come over through the official PulseChain bridge, but is also the native stablecoins. And will we get a boom in the native stablecoins? I suspect we will do, particularly once PulseChain and that start foaming. We'll get people going into the liquidity forks. We have 4 of the top 10 liquidity forks. There's about 35 in the market. And we have USDL, PXDC, HexDC, and of course, Ink Printer. And of course, they are contributing a good amount there. I think something like $7 million approximately added value to the chain. Now, we also have Coast, which is a fiat-backed stablecoin, and that's contributing about, what do we say, $10.6 million. So, you're looking at about, 11, let's say 18, just under $80 million of native stablecoins. Now, we did see Rackham Rochelle tease his little his little liquidity fork. I would say little. It's really potentially going to be ginormous, and we covered that the other day. And of course, we're looking forward to that, as well as several other platform sites there as well. So that's coming up also. And we've also got PUSD ALGO in the mix as well. So yeah, it's going to be exciting times. We're going to have a lot more native stablecoins. As you guys know, there's a thing called the stablecoin trilemma, and of course we have the fiat-backed stablecoin, which is the Coast one at the top, let's say, of the triangle, and then to the right of the triangle, at the other point there, we have the liquidity forks, which is what you basically get highly collateralized stablecoins, and then on the bottom left of the triangle, we have algorithmic stablecoins, which is kind of helps with scalability. The issue of scalability, which is a big issue that the other two do have some limitations and struggles with. And of course, scalability potentially helps you get better circulation and multiplier effects on the actual volatile assets that are not stable and move around, right? So that's kind of the basic idea. And that's the holy grail. Who can solve the algorithmic stablecoin? We obviously see a lot in the fiat bank camp, and we see a lot in the collateralized camp. But how do we get to the scalability and the multiplier effect? And of course, maybe PUSD ALGO is the ultimate solution there. And that's from Jacob, and we're looking forward to it. We consider it his flagship protocol. And so let's see how that goes. Hopefully, it's going to launch before the end of the year. And they're working on some pretty magical things there behind the scenes to make it happen. And we're looking forward to get an update there. But really feel like that is his big US dollar value add is the PUSD ALGO. So that's going to be big contributor there. So looking forward to that. We also said that Tetra and Signum are moving along, and potentially some other magical things as well. We'll just leave it at that. But that is coming forward there. I guess I should probably play my little magic. Up there. Brian says big copy rally incoming. Yeah, all the PulseChain copies expecting the rally, especially the top tier ones, and some of the exotic ones as well. All those protocol exotics, as we say, with the C's and the A's and the V's in front of them. All those ones. Hello, in the house there. We've got another founder in the house, guys. And they're really bringing a lot of founders in today. Big shout out, Helios team. And of course, they've got one of the big ETH reserves potentially with the payout coming up, 8-day payout. And maybe they'll get themselves on the strategic ETH reserve list. We could have 4 Titanx projects potentially on that strategic ETH reserve. You just need 100 ETH or more. So, yeah, that could be a free billboard marketing there as well. Get a lot of attention. And, of course, we are expecting at some stage Titanx a buy and burn. If we get up to 15K on ETH, then we're talking $100 million. And, of course, that's going to be the talk of the town, right? Talk of the town there as Titanx starts taking over the Ethereum charts, as well as being on the strategic ETH reserve. Could have a perfect alignment there. That is the mark there right now. Let's jump over to PulseChain and have a look at the total volume. $41 million in volume, guys, on the old PulseChain. Let's see what's making up most of that volume. Well, we've got, a lot of Remember tokens. We've got a lot of cool stuff there. We've got the Peacock and things like that. We've got obviously the PulseChain cores contributing to a lot of that volume. Let's have a look at the performance by 24-hour percentage. We've got Finger Monkey up there, but been around for 21 hours. And I saw another version of those on pump tires. So everyone trying to do Finger Monkey pump tires. That's up 450%, but down 60% over the last 6 hours. Currently at 00026. We've got Liberty there right now. Has been around for 2 months. That's up 444% today. And we've got Xavier there, president of PulseChain. Now, this is not, as you guys know, Xavier is a big new influencer, giant KOL that's come on to the PulseChain. And he has got 480,000 followers. He's a really good promoter. Does a great job out there. Big shout out to Xavier. And this is not his official coin. So just remember, this is not his official coin. So don't get tricked out by that. But it is doing well regardless. It was up 194% in 24 hours, down 33%. But this is not his official coin. Take note of that. So Batman right now is up 193% at the moment. It's been around for 57 minutes. So as you guys know, I'm Superman. And so Batman's kind of my ally and nemesis at the same time. But this is up 57 minutes right now, getting pumpity pump. Let's have a quick look at it out of interest's sake. So yeah, it got pumped in a dumpty dump. It's pretty fierce out there. We're going to have a lot of this stuff happening right now. Now, as I said to you, it's fun to have a little bit of, crypto playing around some of these new tokens in DGM wallets. That's all fine and dandy. But really, you need to have most of your bags in the good stuff now. The bull market's upon us, and you don't want to get wrecked, right? So make sure that you keep right now, you've probably got a week to a couple of weeks left max, but you really want to have your main bags packed in the quality stuff. Get ready for the big X's. Be patient and let them let them run. And you have a little risk on little DGM portfolio, but just take care out there with that. Now we've got Mini Cock right now, been around for 3 hours as well, up 170%. Bella at the moment up around for 5 hours. So we're getting a whole splurge of these now because excitement's coming into the market. So it's even more than normal. There's around up 48%. We've got Willow the dog, 10 hours, up 38%. You see what I mean? We've got lots of these little come by nightlies, as we say. And there might be 1 or 2 gems out of them over time, but really they're pretty risky stuff. So take care out there. Then we've got some of the bigger players that have been around for a while. A Trooper there from James and Maria, currently just under 16 cents, up 25% today. So we've got the James Maria stuff back on the move. And we always see this ebbs and flows on the PulseChain with some of the different categories coming in and out of the top movers. And so now we've got a Trooper there as well. Further down, we've got Teddy Bear at number 11 to number 15. They're up 20% as well. So we've got James Maria tokens on the move. We've also got the Money one out there as well. It's sort of the adjacent system run by somebody else. And that is up 22% as well. And then we've got BFF there, I think from OG Web Chef, up 22% at number 12. So that gets us to number 16. We've got Reserve Tay there, obviously interacting with a lot of the XUSD stuff and Katie and the team. And then we've got some of the fork copies here like Staked ETH. And of course, ETH is up, big time this week, 28%. And so Staked ETH, one of the exotics, as I call them, is up 17.8%, but really a derivative fork token there. And then we've got Pulse, I've got to say, all right, PulseChain. This is one of the tickers there, the Hex A rewards. It's up 14% right now at number 19. Wrap up our top 20 is UFO, of course, and this is up 14% right now with the PDC crew. So that's sitting at 4,300. So let's have a quick look at this pair. This is versus Dime, and we can see it's actually looking not too bad. The RSI is pretty chill at 60, and we have moved over this resistance area that I had here. So it's game on, I think, for UFO, and could have a lot of upside there for sure. So that is on the weekly chart there for UFO. That's our top 20. Let's have a look at some of the other ones here. We've got Blitz, of course, along with Hex A. That's part of the PulseChain farm. So it's having a bit of a comeback today after a bit of a sell-off yesterday. Remember, it was down at the bottom of the top 100. And of course, then we've got Liquid Lines at number 23. We are expecting these liquidity forks and the DEXs like 9mm, 9-inch to re-rate as we get a big rally in prices and volume. They intrinsically become more valuable because of the turnover there and fees earned potentially. So that is the place there as well. Liquid Lines at number 23, up 8.9%. Now, as you guys know, the liquidity is only 198K. It allows it to pump big time. But I know these guys are sitting on tens of millions of dollars. We're going to see any of that money secretly come into the market. That would be a pretty nice little gesture from them. But we'll still see. We shall see. They've definitely delivered their products more or less, although the Fetch Oracle, the fork of Teller, not quite meeting some teams' needs on the chain so far. But I'm sure others, maybe it's adequate. We got Oversold there, number 24, up 8%. And then there's the PulseChain. We talked about that farm. That is up there as well, up 7.6% right now. Now, because we had UFO up here at number 20, up 14%, we also got PDC the Greys up here as well, number 26, up 6% as well. And because we also had, BFF up here at number 13, up 21%. We've also got the Beast token on the move as well. That's sitting at number 27, up 5.5%, along with, what else we got in here? We had Finvestor down here at number 30. That's at $11.85 now. So Finvestor is kind of the parent. All those OG Web Chef ecosystems up 4.8% now as well. And then, of course, we've got Pulse Puppy at number 28, up 5%. And the Pump Tires Die is up 5.5% at 30. We'll go here at 1/10 of a penny. There we go. That moved around a bit. Sitting at number 31, guys. 1301 here. Love.io is up 4.3%. When are they going to be launching their app and all their other stuff? They've definitely got Luffy.com, which is really a mini corporate bringing value over to Love.io. But we're waiting for Anders and their app and their network platform. When are they going to expand all that? Excited for it. Just looking out for that. And of course, it must be getting pretty close because we're really getting on to takeoff time here on the market. So yeah, maybe a couple of weeks' time. Hopefully we'll see something around that from the Love.io. It could be very big deal, adding a huge value, network value to PulseChain. So we'll keep a lookout for that. GoPulse at the moment, number 32, up 4%. Bitcoin Pump Tires at the moment, up 4% as well. Time Dividend at number 34 is up 3% as well, sitting at 32 hundredths of a penny. And I'm expecting that to re-rate as well, right? Because they have a big, massive in-wallet swapping, and that should all re-rate, I would say, with the DEXs as well. Because basically inside the wallet, they're up 3.4%, and they've had well over 80,000 downloads, also heading towards that 100,000, no doubt, before the end of the year is my guess. So yeah, pretty cool. Best everything pump tires, Richard Hart pump tires there, 3.2%. Number 36, ALGO is also up 2.85% on the back of Hex, of course, up 37% there as well. We've got lots of other tokens in the mix there. Now, one of my Magnificent 7, as you guys know, is Sword Sun Mini currently at 4.8 cents, is up 2.5% there. Of course, that is a managed buy and burn, so it depends. They can print green candles on this chart if they want to, but of course, the lower the price, the more they burn, right, with every buy. So that's going to play there right now, taking us to number 42. Sparta on the back of Hex up 2.3% as well. Hex there, obviously at 1.26 cents, up 2.2%. Also, those are kind of where we are. We're only going down to the top 50 because we're really getting down a percentage. We haven't got really a lot of double digits, but this is where we are on the mark. So big bonus coin there for 9-inch. Dex there. We know Hexy Buster's coming back. He said it the other day. I'm back, and we got big things planned. So he's back on deck here with the bull market ahead of us, and that's up 1.8%. So if you're on 9-inch, maybe you're going to start to see some magic there as well. And that rounds off our top 50 with Hex, which is a perfect place to finish, right? Perfect place to finish with Hex there at number 50. And everything else is how many coins we've got in the green. We've got 66 coins, so 2/3 of the top 100 in green here on the trending Dex screener. And down the bottom here, we've got some of the pullback ones. We had Stomp launch yesterday, down 46%. We were watching that on pump tires. And who else was down here? Peacock from Liberty Swap is down 36%. So might have some nice little pickups there. But probably the big one down the bottom here is Briar from Rack and Michelle. And that's on a 20% pullback right now. And he's got big things planned for this as far as I remember. I think he's still strongly supporting this. So we could see some pretty big things here as well. Now let's see who was in the chat here. We got some more comments. Helios says 62 ETH worth, 290,000 currently, says Helios. Man, oh man, oh man. So yeah, that's definitely plausible for that coming up soon. Coming up soon to our treasury, says Helios. Nice. So yeah, maybe not 100, but definitely pretty incredible. So big shout out there to Helios on the old treasury there. Kryptonite says Rackham demanding 50 million from liquid loans or facing class action. Really? Oh, that's interesting. That's going to be interesting there. Yeah, he was a key contributor to that, I'm pretty sure, and so was the Hicks Godwell, I'm pretty sure as well. We've got Brennan House there. Rackham can donate that 50 million to me. Just saying, says Brennan. Well, I think you probably only be able to get 50 less the cost, I guess, of development. It might be the case, but I'll go check that out on the X. Probably pull it up too. Before we get to Taurus, right before we get to Taurus. Brennan says, yeah, Rackham can donate the 50 million. That's funny. All right, so that's going to be right now. So Briar there sitting at 1,600 a penny. And we know he's going to be backing this with his platforms coming up. We covered that the other day. So keep a lookout for that. And of course, they got into the farm, didn't they? Was it Vox Farm? Yeah, I think Vox Farm with Briar. You can now go farming with your Briar tokens. So it's kind of cool. And it's on a pullback. So that works out pretty nicely there. RSI not fully oversold, down at 40 on the 4-hourly, and on the daily, of course, hasn't been around too long. That's the chart on the daily there. So might want to. It's still got room to move potentially down to here. It did bounce off 1238, so we'll see how that goes. And of course, Rackham out there pumping it. Who knows where it could go from here? May not pull back as far as a lot of coins normally do. It is a pump tires as well. And I think it was Ace that launched it, right? Ace, I think it was Ace. Kryptonite says same laws as Richard too, I think. Oh, right, the superstars there, yeah. And one of the ones that Richard had was an Elon Musk lawyer, right? That was the case too. I don't remember the name of it, but that was the mark. Now that's pretty much it. So I wanted to go into PulseChain and look at our major charts. You guys happy for us to do that? We're an hour and 3 minutes on that mark, and then we're going to get to Taurus, right? So just hold on to your hat for that one. But let's pull up the Richard Hart, and we're going to pull up Pulse. And have a look at the status of our Pulse charts. So we're going to bring them all up quickly. We're going to go through all of them. Let's do Hex. We'll do Pulse X, and I'll leave INC for the time being. Let's just look at these three marks at the moment. So let's go full DGM mode, as it were. I'm just kidding. Full DGM mode. As you guys know, we've got our big charts here, and let's get rid of the RSI right now. And so let's play this out. So there we go. So we've moved out of the SEC dark cloud era, as we say, on the 7th of July. We're now into the green era, which is bull market time for PulseChain. What happened there? We're having a breakdown of the matrix. So here we've broken down through that long-term resistance. Isn't that fantastic? That's really, really cool. And looking good there. Let's go to the, what was I looking at on here? I was looking at, that's right. I wanted to pull out the chart, actually. Let's go do that. You guys excited for this? It's going to be fun. So let's do this, and we're going to full screen on here, and we're going to bring up good old the treasury. So the treasury here for PulseChain right now. And of course, we've got the ETH up 138,500. So let's go do Pumpermentals. Let's go Pumpermentals. Pumpernomics. That's the one. So we're going to go Pumpernomics. And let's have a look at the chart for PulseChain. And let's do some moon math. You guys like moon math? Let's do it. All right, so moon math there. We got the price, so it seems about right there. And of course, let's take away this, and we've got this treasury. So even if this is not, we wouldn't want to do this right now, right? Because we're obviously expecting the treasury to go up in billions and billions of dollars, right? But imagine if we did. Just imagine we took off, not even 138 million, because yesterday we were at like 90 million. But let's just take 100 million. Shave it off this balance. So we'd get back to 666 million. We're not going to do that, of course. I'm not control it, of course, but let's just play around this idea to see what they would do. So if we did 100 million, right? If we did 50 million, let's do that. 50 million first. That would give us on the price pulse price there would give us to about 11.23x, right? So we'd get up to 0.0058 on the price based on the Pumpernomics here. And it did have the right base price, and I think pretty sure the liquidity is the right one as well. So that would get us to 11.23x from here with 50 million net buying. There's been net buying, remember? So obviously you have a lot of sell pressure into that, but net buying, and that would get us to 0.0058. So for those wondering, is it possible to get to this? This kind of gives you that idea that yes, it is. Now let's go to $100 million, and let's do $100 million there. Then we're up 32.46x. Do you like that? And that would put us at 700th of a penny. So for those that don't believe we can get near a cent, this shows you that we definitely could if this played out that way, right? So if you shaved off just 100 million off that, you'd still be 38 million in the money on your original principal of 628 million. But of course, we know that ETH's going to keep going up to the moon. Why would you do it now? Now, when ETH gets to $2.5 billion, 100 million off that's nothing, right? You get a day in the office almost. So yeah, that's definitely plausible. You could shave some money off there. Maybe that's part of the strategy. But then, of course, I think an asset play rather than a buying sort of income play would be the case. Better use money because you can potentially put it into some sort of lending protocols, collateral, not even have to really move it potentially. You could do all sorts of exotic new things that we haven't done with on the balance sheet side, and of course get maybe even better than some sort of linear thing or ratio play. You could actually get a multiplier effect, which would probably be the holy grail. Maybe Richard's working on something like that. We shall see exactly what his plans are. But an asset play definitely seems like the main thing. And of course, he likes privacy. He likes assets not moving. And so let's see. It has moved us, of course, from other currencies die, etc. But the basic idea that he likes to anchor the asset play because that's an intrinsic value, and of course that's going to be even a bigger narrative moving forward because we're going to see that narrative play out for all the strategic ETH reserves. Right, they're going to be long players. They're going to be staking, earning income, and we could just have one measure would just be an income play. You just stake it and earn income, and you shave that income off, and you just keep buying up PulseChain every single day, week, month, year. So that is another play there. There's lots of different options on the table, and maybe both of those options are on the table, right? So it is pretty exciting to see where this could all go. Pretty cool. Now, Richard's also teased recently about privacy, about explorers earlier this year around wallets. We got these digital devices landing soon. There's lots of different things. He's moving pieces of chessboard pieces around the board, and we're looking forward to some of his big moves moving here. He's teased about God mode candles and thinner liquidity. If thinner liquidity pulls out with the INC reward going down to 0.03 per second, and of course only 2,600 of those coming out each year. We've got the Origin accounts acting as the Federal Reserve and moderating the yield. I think we've seen the yield on HEX go down from 7.5 HEX per T share down to about 1.5 HEX per T share. So we've seen lots of big moves already played out before we even get up to the bull market and this participation. We also saw him register the PulseChain SAC on the strategic ETH reserve early, and of course sitting there at number 2 originally, and now number 5. So lots of chess pieces are being moved. We're getting very close with maybe a week, let's say, give it plus a day or two, with the big 200,000 electronic devices. We're expecting potentially millions of those going out, hitting the United States. So it's game on. What will they be? What impact will it have? All that sort of still good stuff happening, which is pretty exciting, just on Richard's front. So keep a lookout for all those sort of things. So that's kind of where we are right now. And we could pumponomics all the way to Billy Goat's Gruff. So fun times ahead, I would say. So kind of cool. And of course, you want to get the retail book and the institutions on top. And of course, that rides up value even more, right? That's just one variable, obviously a fundamental magical variable, as we like to call it, on the PulseChain, which is pretty exciting. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, so that's kind of cool on the old Pulse. And at the moment, we got Pulse there looking pretty good. Let's look at the weekly chart on Pulse, and let's go to the weekly chart, and let's scroll this out a little bit. And let's get rid of the overlays because they're a little confusing there. But that is the weekly chart. Look at that, looking really good. We've got some sort of W playing out too. Not bad. Let's go back to the daily there, and we see we're above all the moving averages. On the weekly, we've got the 9-day moving average as well, punching through the 21-day and the 34-day in purple. Heading up towards the 50 weekly, I should say, moving average there as well. There's all weekly moving averages, and we're powering up there to quadruple 5,200. We had a nice little pullback there after we crossed the RSIs, right? So let's have a look at the RSIs. Look at that. We crossed there, bullish golden cross with the 50, the yellow line over the 200-day, the orange line. Game on, right? So we had all the moving averages, the shorter ones at the top, the 9-day, the 21-day in blue, the 34-day in purple, and then the yellow, the 50-day. So from short to long, all crossing over that long-term 50-day average. Get excited, guys. It is really, really exciting where we're heading. And, of course, we had a little bit of reprieve, in the prices, but now we're getting back up, and we really may see things start to fly here as well. I think we had a net amount over the bridge yesterday of about 1.2 million, if I remember rightly. So we'll probably have another number coming out probably pretty shortly, as I guess, maybe out already. So that could be pretty cool as well. In fact, let's go look for that while we're here. Because we're going to have a quick look at that. So I think it's Pulse Alerts, I think. Pulse Alerts, and they may have a bridge update there. Let's have a look here. 8 hours ago, 200,000 bridge to PulseChain. So that was pretty cool. What else? I think we had, net flow. So, net flow last 14 hours ago was negative 109. So that was a negative. But the day before, we had a positive amount, which, so look here. Net flow today, -1. We talked about that one. Where was it here? I'm not sure what time frames these are. 9th, 10th. We had a couple of negatives there, but we did have a big positive one. Can't see it here right now, but that was definitely there somewhere. I've lost track of it, but definitely saw that. But in any case, we're going to be watching those bridge flows. We definitely see the ETH prices go up. So we get a reversal on the volume side of that flow. It'd be pretty awesome there. So I'm not sure what happened to my positive 1.2 there, but they definitely saw one post on that. So that's kind of the play there on that. Let's jump away to, I guess, the full range, and let's have a look at the RSI on there. I think we did. So let's have a look at the RSI here on PulseChain. We're sitting currently on the daily at 67. And the cool thing about having a little bit of reprieve just allows the RSI just to cool and just to sit here humming, and then we can go back up and come back down, come back up, and just keep pushing this chart higher as well, which is kind of cool. All right. Where should we go from here? We're going to go to the HEX at the moment and have a look at the HEX. It's going to be really quick, this one. We've got a golden cross on HEX. You can see there, back on the 9th of August. We're just humming along the 9-day moving average. We've got all the same moving averages on the old HEX there, looking very, very good. Now, the ratio to pulse, of course, is the important one here because it's the leverage play, and we're at 240 right now, sitting right in the middle, really, of these moves. And, of course, recently we've got the 300 HEX per pulse there. Pulse per HEX, I should say. That is the play on the old HEX. Looking at PulseX, of course, we have obviously tried to tease. We're kind of on the down. There's breaking this downtrend. So PulseX really the last one to really move on there on the weekly, and so we're looking to work that out. We have crossed over on the daily here. So incentive token is the last one I think that we were looking at. That's probably crossed now too. So maybe we might bring that up. But then we crossed over on the 7th of August here. We just have a nice little cool off period here. Really, really good. And we're breaking through that long-term resistance as well. So PulseX ready for, I think, a very big move, and the RSI not too bad at 62. So I think things are looking pretty exciting for PulseX to have a really nice re-rate there. So let's have a look at incentive tokens. I wasn't going to talk about this one, but we're going to have a quick look because we had the golden ratio, right? We were waiting for that. And here we are on the weekly. We're still under this long-term resistance here. So incentive token could, once that breaks, it's going to have a relatively bigger explosion in price. But definitely we've just crossed over that there as well. So we've crossed golden crosses on all of them confirmed, and it's game on there now, and we're just riding the 9-day moving average. But there's obviously even more work to do on INC when it breaks that long-term resistance there. RSI is even cooler than here, 56. So I think that's going to be pretty awesome moving to INC there when we come up to it. Pretty exciting. Brennan says send it. Absolutely, send it there. Who else is in the chat there? We got any more comments? Uh, we got the PulseChain. Yeah, actually, I was going to bring that. It's the main reason why I was going to look at that kryptonite. So thanks for reminding me of that one, because that was the one. The reason why I pulled PulseX up was to look at the ratio chart there, and we're going to go the weekly on that. Look at that. So still looking very strong. Definitely testing some of the long-term support, but definitely 76. We're not expecting this to really change. We're very surprised because we're expecting a lot of bullish things happening, and of course we've got Unity that's coming up on the 18th to the 20th, right? That's going to be hyper bullish for burning PulseX here. So yeah, expecting that to happen. Obviously, PulseChain can have generally a bit of inflation, even with the EIP 159, but PulseX is just being burned, right? It's just deflationary. There's no inflation coming down. It's just being burned away, and we're at 7.58% burn so far of the plug supply. So not expecting too much there. Pretty cool. Lawyers are Quinn Emanuel, I think, from memory. Right. Yeah, I think you're right about that too. What else there? Michael Land says, have you looked at Medicaid? No, I have not looked at Medicaid. We might try and search for that sometime. Yeah, haven't heard much about that one, actually. Is that on PulseChain, presumably? Let me know. Pulse Beta in the house says, does PulseChain Bridge still work the same? It's been a while since I used. Yes, it does, Pulse Beta. Someone was working on it yesterday. So, yeah, it does. I think it's 96 confirmations you need on the bridge. Before you can claim them on the other side. There's no fee coming from Ethereum to PulseChain, but there is a small 0.3% fee going from PulseChain to Ethereum. And while the GUI is low on Ethereum, the price to claim should be relatively low. Obviously on PulseChain, it's pretty cheap as well. And that's the play right now. Kind of cool. I think Pulse Coin List also has, it's Pulse Coin List, I think, has a gas, gives you a little bit of pulse gas, a wrap pulse, I think, on the PulseChain. So yeah, you get a little bit of gas there too. I think Pulse Coinist, I think it is that one. Francia in the house there. Hello, Francia. Good to see you. Loving all the hearts there as well. Big shout out. All right, so that is PulseX. Now, what was the last thing? We're going to look at Taurus, right? Let's go do that. So everything looking pretty good. Let's bring up the good old Taurus. And here we go. So Taurus is pretty exciting. And of course, let's bring up Unity while we're at it, because Unity is coming to PulseChain, and it's going to be the same version of Taurus, but on PulseChain using different tokens. So on Taurus, we use Titanx and Ethereum. On Taurus, on Unity, it's going to be Pulse and PulseX. So on Taurus, we burn Titanx. On Unity, it's going to be PulseX, right? So massive burn re-rate there. It's going to play. All right, so at the moment, we got yields at what's the price now of Taurus? $7.55. We were over $8 yesterday, so we have definitely had a bit of volume. We knew the volume was coming out today, I think, and tomorrow. If not yesterday in the day, one of those two, we're going to check out. But that's $7.55 right now. We got 8,779% on the ROI, and our daily is at basically 99%. So basically a 2x a day on the return there at the current prices, etc. And number of shares. Staking at the moment is 2,735% right now, and the daily there just under 98%. So pretty similar there as well. So it's going to play. So yeah, 8,800% and 2,700% there. All right, let's jump over to the buy and burn. Of course, this is capturing all the ETH. And last time I checked, it was like $960,000 worth. No doubt that's all gone up. Should we add it up while we're here? We're going way long on the live stream, but it's too late now. We've already gone past an hour, 15 minutes. So let's just do some playful maths here. 168. I'm not doing it in my mind today, of course. It's because I'm still not 100%. But 168 plus. Wookie's probably laughing at me, actually, to be honest. I'm not sure what happened to my one. I've got one. I get 168 plus a 312. So 312 in the buy and burn. That is a $480,000, almost $500,000 in the buy and burn. Cryptographics must be absolutely excited because this is all part of the plan, and it's working very well with the tokenomics, which is capturing value and helping support the project long term. Fantastic. So it's running on the opposite. So it goes between 1% and 10% of the buy and burn. So the bigger the burn gets, the 1% gets bigger in value, right? So it's kind of cool like that. And of course, it's running on the low end at 1%, not 10%. So 10% a day would be, $48,000. So it's sitting at 1% of that. What's that? $4,800 a day. That's kind of the idea, I guess. Buy and build. We got another 106,000 on the buy and build. So this is building liquidity. So it's making the protocol more resilient, more mature, and a bigger player on the field, really, in terms of quality of asset and token in the ecosystem, which is pretty cool. So that's 106K. So we're going to add that in. 106. So that puts us up to 586,000. Plus we've got another 220,000 in in Tightnex. And as you guys know, Tightnex is on the low end at the moment, trying to find that bottom before it moves up. And it's starting to move up, of course, of ETH price, but really starting to wait for that really there. And so we're going to add that 220 in. And so 220. It gets us to 806,000. So between the buy and burn and the buy and build, which builds the liquidity, we're at $806,000. Add the fractal, which is a special kind of buy and burn booster that comes in to kicks into gear on day 110. As you guys know, for when you go to create Taurus or stake Taurus to get shares for the reward pool, that's 88 days is the max length. So a special day in the future is going to be day 110 because this is going to go. All this stuff's going to be put in the buy and burn there and used in that, right? Top that up. So at the moment, we've got 72,500. So we're going to add that in there. We'll just add 72 just for rounding. 72. It takes us up to 878,000 plus 159,000 in Tightnex. So we're going to add that too. 159. Hopefully the calculator is working. No, it's that is horrible. That's horrible. What did I say? 806. I can't remember now. But I really botched it up. I knew it was gonna. I knew I didn't push the plus sign. So yeah, we got what do we have there? 880 was it? 860. I really botched it up after all that work, the last mile. So yeah, well into 900,000s there. I knew I was going to botch it up, but there's the play there right now. Looking pretty good. So let's jump over to the stats page there. We're currently got the liquid supply sitting at 5.5%, 1,464. Not a lot in supply right now. And that was over 1,500 last time I checked it. So that's down even with the supply coming out. And what have we got there? 20,325 Taurus. First day we've seen it over 20,000 that I remember. So that's kind of cool. Burnt Taurus 6,243 is bigger than the stake Taurus, which is pretty impressive. And we're on the low end of that buy and burn, 5,600 Taurus there with 3.24 billion shares. That's the key one there. That's what's getting your share of the rewards overall, and 219 billion Tightnex burn. So how much PulseX will be burned? Because I'm expecting pretty big adoption for Unity coming out, which is the same thing as Taurus on Ethereum on Tightnex, going to be on PulseChain coming, going to be launching on the 18th to the 20th there, and we're going to hear a lot more about that. I know that Cryptographics is doing an influencer roadshow right now, just raising awareness to this awesome protocol of Unity, and it's very exciting to see that play out, and I think we're going to hear lots more about it moving forward. This has flipped all the tokenomics on the head with staking. Really is, I think, at the frontier of where tokenomics is heading for the Holy Grail. As you guys know, I think that's one of the exciting things about being a crypto. We are the new Wall Street. We're creating the hottest projects and protocols in town there. So big shout out to Cryptographics there, the WizKid and PulseChain and Tightnex. All right, kind of looking good there. So let's have a look at the June dashboard quickly, since we're going all the way now. This is what happens with Taurus. Once you take a bite, you got to eat the whole meal. That's pretty much it. So we're at an hour and 22 minutes on the live, and we've got another 8 minutes to go. I guess we're doing a 15-minute bonus round. There we go. 1.3 million. This is 11 hours old, so it hasn't been updated for a while, but we're at 1.3 million. That's obviously going up. And that's the big thing, right? If Tightnex goes up, ETH keeps going up, then all these numbers are going to go into the millions and potentially tens of millions, right? This is we're kind of where we're heading moving forward. So definitely cool. We're around about 100 ETH going to the protocol. It's probably slightly overstated there, and about just under 3.8 trillion Tightnex. So this is going to continue, and very exciting. What day are we on? We're on day 34, which is pretty crazy, and we're really speeding through things here. 12 million is the future Taurus supply. As you guys saw, we only got 20,000 right now, right? 20,000 right now on the pool. 20,000. So we're still very small, but we have 12 million coming out over the next, 122 days. There we go, 122 days. And you can see that, we're pretty low right now. So far, up to day 33, we've only had 7,500 tokens come out. We start off with 20,000, so that would be 27,500 in total. And you can see we're just over 20,300 now in the market there after all the buying and burning. The next big day that we're expecting inflation, obviously we're expecting ups and downs all the way to day 47. 47 is the next day that we're expecting a big jump. Remember, I said in the past streams, day 27 and day 47 are the next two kind of step ups in inflation. And of course, you can see us day 45, we're going to have 21,600. This is a cumulative supply that's come out over 45 days. But then we jump up on day 46 to 23.7. But then from day 46, that's when the big jump is. We go from 23,600 to 35. So that's a pretty big jump, 12,000 tokens. That's about 60% of what we currently have in supply right now. So there's a big jump there. And then, of course, we just keep ramping up. First time we get to 100,000, which would be, basically 5 times the initial supply of 20,000. That is 98, so that gets to 120,000 in total. That is 59 there, so pretty cool. And we'll go back to the top here. So that would be day 59. So day 27, day 47, day 59, kind of some key milestones I suggest. And then we start ramping up here. And the first day we get to, essentially 1 million is pretty much around day 84. And of course, remember, 88 is the first day. So if you're on first day of Taurus, you've been able to do an 88 day. That is 4 days after this. So we get to 1 million about then. Definitely by day 85, we're over 1 million accumulated. And so that's pretty massive there. What's that, a 50 times supply of what we started with, and then game on. We get to day 88. That's kind of the last day. And then we jump from day 1.7 million almost. We jump to 3.4 million the next day. So lots of changes there. And of course, when these creations and stakes come out, the shares will come out of the share pool. So that's going to lift the yields potentially. And then, of course, people will go and take their Taurus. A lot of people, we're suggesting, because it's really a staking protocol, will go in for those high yields to stake again. So that's kind of the dynamics we're going to wait and see. We're going to get some people selling. So we're going to find out how all that plays out. But it's going to be pretty interesting. And of course, remember, all this way, we've got the buy and burn working. We've got the buy and build with the liquidity working, happening to mature the system as well. But we're definitely going to have some adjustments coming in here as we get people understanding what's going on with the protocol. People that are short-term players leave, for example, and so on. So that's kind of the play we're expecting there. And of course, we head up all the way up to 122. Now, the big, powerful thing of the tokenomics, of course, is that as more people come into the protocol, the bigger the distribution of the reward pool goes, right? So day 89 used to be something like 8.5 million tokens, and now it's sitting at 1.7 million with all the additional daily tokens added. So everything's coming down pretty well there. And all these other candles get flattened out as well as more and more people come in, right? And of course, there's a little bit more added every day, and that gets pushed out further. So we got some really interesting things happening with the protocol, and we're looking forward to see it all play out there as cryptographics has flipped a lot of the standard Titanix tokenomics on its head, and really moved the protocol in some ways, using some of the ROI incentives, moving it towards staking. So it's really fun to see this play out. Really is at the frontier of tokenomics. So well done to cryptographics, and we're looking forward to the journey there as well. So kind of cool. We've 1,822 creations, 164 stakes, and we've definitely had some ebbs and flows. And I suggest to you, we're probably going to have ebbs and flows in the adoption, ups and downs, and that's what the chart's kind of showing to us so far. But we're only early, right? It's only day 33, for goodness sake. So it's still pretty, day 34 now, actually, we're on. So it's still pretty early. We're just past the first month, as you guys know. We'll get a few months under our belt, and we'll see how it all pans out. But so far, it's pretty good. Staking activity got a big jump yesterday. Look at that. Big jump there, 5 daily stakes. That's pretty interesting, because that's really an outlier there. And this is, I guess, some of the stuff that cryptographics would expect to see, if I can speak there. And that is, people will start staking because it's a staking protocol. And of course, we're going to see it all plays out there. It could become the ultimate staking protocol for sure. We're going to keep a lookout. Pretty awesome there. All right, so that's kind of some of the cool stuff happening. Hope you guys have enjoyed that. We haven't got too many liquid holders here, if these numbers are correct. So not a lot of liquid holders there at the moment. That is Taurus, and we're at 1 hour and 20 minutes on the hour there. So pretty awesome. Now, if you guys want to check out these sites there, I'll post them in the chat there as well. And of course, to go watch some of the cryptographics videos to get the real source there, the real secret source there. He breaks it down like a boss. As you guys know, he's a brilliant communicator, as well as brilliant everything pretty much, isn't he? So there he is. That is the stats. Bam. And that is, you can start creating or staking today. And that is the link to the June dashboard there to get all the secret source there, and maybe, strategize there. But typically, maybe just go long. Pretty kind of cool. All right. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Now, what else we got going on here? We could have Richard coming in at any time. He often likes to give us updates, so we'll hear from him.
You could get a God candle at any moment. You could get a giant green candle at any moment,
Richard,
because it's easier to get them, because it takes less economic energy, because there's less of it for sale.
That's right. So that's Richard, and we agree. We agree with him 100%. Look forward to that. It's going to be pretty fun. Wiki says, did someone say wake up? Wake up indeed. I think so. PulseBase says so. ETH sent to PulseChain comes out as a wrapped ETH. Yep. What else? What else we got going on here? We have a different contract. It's locked over one side. What else we got? Comments here. Let's see. All right, so that's pretty much it. So I hope you guys enjoyed the show. And what else can we say? I think that's pretty much it. An hour and 29 minutes, so basically an hour and a half. And things are really starting to rock on the old Pulse chain. Yeah, we get that. We got these golden crosses holding real nice. We had the just them cool off, and people were like, "Oh, well, golden crosses, we should be going to the moon." But actually, I think the market makers like, "Oh, let's just let the RSI cool off a little bit. Let's wait for some of this marketing stuff. Let's let ETH do its thing." And then, we had a little bit of ebb flows out of the bridge. We saw all that on Pulse Alerts. But I think things are looking pretty strong. And the charts are looking getting ready for that next big move. So, like I said, I think, you got a week, maybe to 5 weeks, between the marketing from Richard Hart through to the interest rate cuts. That's kind of, I think, the last little window because you obviously see all that money coming from Ethereum. So get quality assets, maybe rejig your portfolio if you've got too many risky things. Get into the core stuff there, and get ready to win. Right, just sit on the good stuff and play around a little bit, maybe 5% and fun stuff that you think might do in a DGN wallet. But other than that, keep your main bags locked down and good wallets and stuff like that. So just take some good common sense advice there as we head into this bull market. It's going to be pretty exciting. All right. Awesome. All right. Take care, everybody. Catch you on the next one. I'll be in Discord. Bye for now. Peace out.